Here we go. Hi everybody, welcome to English 111, Writing and Inquiry. This video is going to take you through the course syllabus. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. Hopefully it will answer all the questions that you have about the class getting started. I will do another video on how to navigate Blackboard, so be on the lookout for that. Before we get started looking at the syllabus, I just want to tell you a little bit more about myself. I have been teaching English at Cape Fear Community College for, I started in 2013, so about 5 years now. I started as a part-timer, just teaching a couple classes every semester, and then I got hired on full-time. That was in, I think, 2014. I taught full-time for 3 years, and then I got married and I moved to Charlotte and just had a baby last year. So I now teach part-time again, and I strictly teach online because I'm teaching from a distance, just like you guys are learning from a distance. Now, of course, you might be thinking, how am I supposed to talk with my teacher if she doesn't even live in Wilmington? And maybe some of you also don't live in Wilmington, but please contact me via email. I'm going to teach you about this text-based system that I use as well so that we can communicate. But don't be worried about the fact that I don't live in Wilmington, that you can't meet with me in person, because there are definitely other ways that we can communicate. So anyway, I've been teaching English for 5 years now. I love teaching English 111. This is my second semester teaching it totally online. So I'm learning about what works and I'm learning about what doesn't work. And I make a lot of changes to the class every semester. I get rid of things that I don't think are effective, and I keep the things that I've been told are great. So hopefully you'll find that this is an improvement on the class if you happen to take it with me last semester. And if you've never taken a class with me, hopefully you'll find that it's working. Part of my personality is that I love feedback. Of course, nice feedback. Constructive criticism is great. I just like it when it's said positively. So if you ever have anything that you're like, hey, Miss Ausburn, I don't think this is working, then please let me know. It might not be something I can change immediately. It might not be something I can change this semester, but I'm always happy to take your feedback into consideration and make changes and updates to help you learn better. Of course, if it's something I can't do, then I will let you know that, and I will try to find other ways that we can help you learn better right here, right now. So enough about me. Let's talk about the syllabus. I've got a copy of it here on the screen, as you can see, and I'm going to go through it step by step. I'll skip the stuff that I think that you can read on your own, the stuff that I don't think is that important. I mean, all of it is important, of course. There's just stuff I have to put on the syllabus that I don't necessarily want to spend too much time talking about this morning. So take a look at the screen in front of you. If you're watching this video, you can just follow along. You might want to periodically pause the video to look at your own copy of the syllabus. Maybe you've printed it out. Maybe you've just saved a copy on your computer. You can, I don't know what they call it. You can minimize the video and just listen and look at your own copy, or you can just watch me go through it here. I believe I've got the syllabus ready to go. If there's anything that is wrong in the syllabus, I will of course talk about it and make changes after this video, but hopefully that doesn't happen. What you'll notice on the first page is a list of everything that's in the syllabus, and if this list is working correctly on your end, then you should just be able to click on, for example, course competencies, and it should take you straight to course competencies. That way, if you're ever in a hurry and you're looking for something like really quickly, oh my gosh, what's her attendance policy? Then you can just click on that and find that information right here. So that's everything on the first page. And then we get down to this information. My name is Lisa Ausburn. I know sometimes people think that like, how do you spell her last name? That's a sort of a weird last name, but it's Ausburn, Ausburn. Sounds a lot similar to Ausburn, but it's slightly different. There's my email right here. If you ever need to get in contact with me, you can always email me. I've got my email link to my phone, so I get the email pretty much instantly. I do my best to respond as quickly as possible. I don't actually have any office hours because, like I said, I live in Charlotte. I don't have a place to meet with you in Wilmington, obviously. So I really can only respond to you by email. However, we could set up a Skype video. I could call you on the phone if you needed to like actually have a conversation with me as opposed to asynchronous communication. Now the phone number that I've listed here is the English department secretary's phone number. And so if you have an emergency or something like that, you can always call her and let her know, and she will get in contact with me. I don't usually like to share my number right away with students just because you never know. I've had, when I was a new teacher, I shared my phone number and I got weird text messages every once in a while. So I don't know if they were meant for me or not, but we'll just keep this number as the original phone number. But like I said, if we need to call or talk over the phone, I'm happy to do that. All you have to do is just let me know that's something that you need. This is an online course. Everything is done online. You signed up for an online course. This is not a face-to-face course, so we are doing everything mostly asynchronous, using Blackboard, via email. If you did not mean to sign up for an online course and you can change into a new class, please do so. Online classes are very different than face-to-face classes. However, if you can't, or if you're really excited about online classes, I mean, I hope that you'll make your best of it. You know, if you accidentally signed up for an online class and here you are, oh my gosh, what do I do? Just take it one day at a time, step by step, and email me if you have questions. Some people do really well in online classes and some people have a really hard time with it. But if you're struggling, let me know. I'm here to help you. Okay, I think I covered everything there. So before you take this class, you either just were able to go straight into English 111, or you took maybe last semester DRE, which is like the developmental reading and writing. So some of you might be coming in with like a really strong knowledge base of writing from high school, or whether that was high school 10 years ago or whether that was high school a year ago. And some of you might be coming in with a pretty strong knowledge base from taking some English classes already. Maybe some of you are trying English 111 again, and that's okay too. I'm here to help you. Hopefully, I will be able to do that. This class is all about reading. It's all about writing. It's all about how do we talk about other people's ideas. How do I write to explain how I feel about other people's ideas? We're going to talk a lot about academic writing, what it means to write academically as opposed to in other forms, such as for journalism or for social media or whatever. Academic writing is its own thing, and that's really what we're focusing on here. We're going to cover the basics, like how to write an essay. We're going to cover the basics, like what is main idea and summary and paraphrase, and things that you might think, gosh, why are we talking about this? But you have got to solidify a really, really strong knowledge base of writing before you can move on into writing in your own discipline. Like if you are going to be a history major or something like that, you have to know how to write academically first before you can write academically about history. So I'm here to teach you how to get the solid foundation of those things. That's basically the gist of the course competencies here, and you can read these on your own and dig into them if you're interested in that. Again, this is some of the stuff I'm required to put on the syllabus, so I'm going to kind of go through it really quickly. We've got this phrase here, college level. That's really what we're talking about in this class, is writing at the college level. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with like the 5-paragraph essay. We're going to go beyond that. We're going to go into argumentative papers, persuasive papers, rhetorical analysis in this class. And we're going to get past intro, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion, just so that, again, you're ready to write academically for your future classes. So the class texts, we've got 2 of them. First, we have Back to the Lake. It's green. It's the 3rd edition. We're going to talk a lot about Back to the Lake. We're going to read a lot from Back to the Lake. I think it's a good text. It's not perfect. I don't think there is a perfect textbook to teach you guys this stuff. So because I don't think that, I'm going to supplement your knowledge with a lot of, I love videos. I love short videos. So I'm going to put a lot of videos in our course. But I am going to ask you to read a really big chunk of this book, so you're going to need to get it. Please, if you can find it cheaper somewhere else than the bookstore, go for it. Maybe if you wanted to look at Amazon, so I'm going to quickly pop my screen over to Amazon and just see what's going to pop up here. Back to the Lake, 3rd edition. You don't have to buy the, here we have it right here. You don't have to purchase it. You can rent it. Look, Amazon sells it for $23. There's used options for $33 if you do want to purchase it, but you can rent it. You can also purchase the online version. I think, I don't really know how much Norton sells it for, but we can find out right now. Let's see here. From their website, they do offer an ebook. If we wanted to learn more about that ebook, maybe we could see how much it costs. Register, purchase, sign in. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know where to even find that, but it might be out there. And if you want to find the ebook, let me know. Send me an email and I'll do some more research. Right off the top of my head, I can't find that information, and we should probably go ahead and move on before I make this video way too long. But it's out there. There's options for you. There are options for you other than just what's sold in the bookstore. So don't think you have to rely on the bookstore. If you have Amazon Prime, you can get your book in 2 days. So there should be cheaper options for you. Now, with that being said, I don't know. Maybe the bookstore is selling the book relatively inexpensively. Maybe they also rent it. I don't know. You should look into all of your options, especially if money is an issue for you. And I understand school textbooks are expensive. Speaking of textbooks, that's not the only one. We also have the Prentice Hall Reference Guide. Just like with Back to the Lake, we are going to read a good bit of this textbook as well. And if you are a college transfer student, you will be required to take English 112. They also want you to have this book for the most part. Book requirements are changing, so I've been told, but we used to have this book as a 2-part series in 111 and in 112. So that means that it was really worth getting this book as well. This is a handbook. I'm going to assign readings out of this handbook. I'm going to assign practice activities out of this handbook. It's really, really helpful. Now, the one thing about your textbooks that hasn't changed, that we should have changed already, but it hasn't happened yet, is MLA format. MLA, Modern Language Association, changed over the past 2 years. These books haven't been updated with the newest MLA, so I will be reinforcing the fact that you will probably have to use outside online sources like the Purdue OWL, for example, to find updated MLA. So there are, again, like I said, these textbooks aren't perfect. That's the drawback for me with these books, is that they're not 100% updated to the current standards. But I'm going to show you how to find those standards and direct you to the right places so that you're not left in the dark and that you don't go on to English 112 or wherever and say, I didn't learn this. So don't worry about that. Also, under required texts and materials is a way to take notes, whatever. You guys can do it electronically. You can go old school with a piece of paper and a pencil. You need access to a computer. Obviously, this is an online class. I hope that's a given. You need the internet. You can't access Blackboard without the internet, I don't think. If you can, let me know. So those are your required texts and materials. 2 books, a handbook and the textbook, and then just a few other things that are just kind of obvious to be successful in this class. Here's what we're doing this semester. You're going to start off the first week of class. You're going to do like grammar boot camp. Here's all the grammar that I need you to know right now. And you're going to take a little grammar test. It's 50 questions. It's 50 questions, 50 points. 1 question, 1 point per question. And then we are going to, in week 2, have a discussion on like what is good writing. What's an A paper look like? What's a B paper look like? A C paper? What does it mean to fail? Like what, if I did a really bad essay, am I going to fail? We're going to talk about all that stuff in week 2. That's going to be one of your discussion boards. And that's going to help us create a rubric for the class. I haven't made your essay rubrics yet because I want you to help me make them. I want to know what you guys are thinking. So that's one of the discussion boards. The other 2 discussion boards are unit discussion boards. So we'll talk about science and technology, and we'll talk about audience, purpose, and tone in a discussion board. It'll kind of get the juices flowing for your writing in those 2 units. We're also going to do what I'm calling progress journals. I don't know if any other teacher calls them progress journals. They might call them portfolios or whatever. I'm not really sure. But for me, the progress journals are stages of your essay that you show me you're working on. That means I'm going to ask you to do a brainstorm. I'm going to ask you to write your thesis statement. I'm going to ask you to do an outline for your essay, and all of these things I'm going to require before you turn in your essay. So your progress journals are making progress on your essay in kind of like a journal form, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just going to come from your brain. There will be requirements, of course, but they're just journals. So nothing is set in stone per se. So there's going to be 2 of those. Each one is worth 50 points. A lot of this stuff is worth 50 points. I really like that. Then you're going to have responses, and responses are sort of like mini essays. Essentially, they're like a low stakes assignment. You can show me your essay writing style without getting, if there's something that you need to improve on and you get a couple points knocked off because it's not perfect yet, or it's not almost perfect yet. These are low stakes assignments where you can miss a couple points and it's no big deal. And it's going to help you learn so that when it comes time for the essay, you're really ready to do that writing. So a response is like a mini essay, kind of minus the introduction and the conclusion. It's getting you to show me that you can do the writing that I need you to do for the essay. And if not, let's go ahead and tackle kind of what you need help with right now before you get to the essay. This semester, if you've taken this class with me before, I had an optional peer review. I really think peer review is so crucial, and I do it in my face-to-face classes, and I've been really contemplating, like, how can I incorporate peer review in an online course? I think I've figured it out. I think I've got a really good plan, so I'm requiring it this semester. It's going to be an asynchronous peer review for each essay, so there's 2 of them. Again, each one is worth 50 points. You'll upload your essay to Google Drive, a folder I've already created. I've already got a specific space for us to do it. I've got instructions. Don't worry, you don't have to do it right now. You'll upload your essay. You'll go in. You'll have a week to complete the assignment, and you'll read other students' essays. And I just think that reading your classmates' essays and responding to their essays with global and local revisional comments is so important, because it will help you be a better writer. One of the things that I really cannot stress enough is being a good writer means being a good reader. Reading as much as you can in the type of writing that you're doing. So reading your classmates' work is so crucial. By no means do I expect you to be editors for your classmates. I don't expect you to know 100% what's wrong with this essay and how can you fix it. But I expect you to be an audience member. You are your classmates' audience, and they need to know how you feel about their argument, how you feel about their writing style. Is it effective for you as an audience member? That's the point of a peer review. And we'll talk more about that later, but you will have required peer reviews. 2 essays. First, we have an audience, purpose, and tone essay, and that's going to be an essay basically looking at two different texts from our textbook, Back to the Lake, and figuring out which one is more effective. Both of the texts will be geared towards students, so who is the better writer out of the two authors that you're looking at? Who is reaching their audience better? Can we say that? Yes, I think so. You will essentially write a rhetorical analysis essay for that first essay. We'll go through what that means. We'll go through the rhetorical triangle. We'll talk about audience. We'll talk about purpose. We'll talk about tone. We'll talk about evaluating other people's work. So all of that will be done before you have to turn in that final paper. You should be good to go there. Then I am introducing a new essay this semester called the Digital Culture and Technology essay. We've got a lot of readings in our textbook about technology, and I think it's really interesting. I think that we live in this super technological world, and I want to know your arguments about technology. That's the essay. You pick one of the prompts and you make an argument about technology using some research that I provide you with. That comes straight out of our textbook. You can use a couple outside sources that you find yourself, but for the most part, you'll use examples and statistics and facts and things that you've already got access to create and craft your argument about technology and digital culture. You can take a positive spin, you can take a negative spin, you can be pessimistic about it if you want to. Totally up to you. It's your essay. Both of those essays are worth 25%. So the essays are really the big things in this class. They're half your grade. You're definitely not going to want to miss an essay. This class is a 2-essay class. Some classes are 4-essay classes. I think that's a lot to cover, especially since this is a 12-week course. So we still have to do just as much work in this class, but we don't have as much time to do it. So they're a little bit longer requirements for the essay, but you only have to write 2 of them, as opposed to shorter essays, but you have to write 4. I think there's pros and cons to both formats, but this is the format that I prefer. But because there's only 2 essays, they have to be worth more as well. So that's why we've got this 25%. That is, I have learned a requirement from the department, so I have to make sure that I follow through with that. So below the course requirements is just a little bit more about each of the required assignments that I've just talked about. So I'm going to skip down to extra credit. I love extra credit. I think extra credit is awesome. So I put a lot of extra credit assignments in the class. I don't know, a lot, maybe just a little bit. There's a few. There's some here. You'll find them in the lessons. So when you watch the Blackboard video, this will make a lot more sense. But what I'm going to say is there are lessons in this class, and you will find them in the lesson folders. So for example, if I say, hey, go learn about annotating and view the annotation lesson, in that lesson folder, at the end of it, there is an opportunity for extra credit. So, hey, here's what you learned about annotation. Show me you can do it. Turn it in, get some extra credit. I love to offer extra credit. I'm constantly thinking about ways I can offer extra credit. There's a couple assignments already in Blackboard. I'll try to add some more here and there throughout the course. Of course, I'll notify you when there's extra credit opportunities. And then there's one at the end, which is a big survey, because like I said, I love feedback. I love to improve my classes. So I need to know from your perspective how you think the class went, and I offer extra credit for that. It's anonymous. So, okay. Grading scale, I think if you've been attending CFCC for at least a semester, you're familiar with this grading scale. It's an 8-point scale. 92 and above is an A, and 84 and above is a B, etc. You can see it right here in front of you. We do have a new grade that's new just in the past year. It's called XF. What the heck is that? That just means if you stop coming to class, if you stop participating in the online class and you're going to fail the class, but you don't withdraw, we don't just want to say you failed, like you weren't ready to take this class. We want to really say, hey, it's not that you didn't know what you were doing, it's you just stopped doing the work. So that's really what the XF grade is for. Actually, in an online class, that's a big I give a lot of those grades. A lot of people just stop doing the work because it's overwhelming. It can get stressful, and in an online class you can forget about things, and you can get deep into the hole of I forgot. Oh my gosh, I'm failing. So that's a common grade that I give. If you get to that point, email me, because I will work with you. I don't want you to fail. I never ever want my students to fail. So please constantly contact me if you are struggling. There's a course schedule in Blackboard. I'm going to access it here really quickly. I'll go through it in Blackboard, in the Blackboard video, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like. It's a calendar, and it tells you when we start. It tells you when to begin things. It tells you when things are due. It doesn't tell you what lessons to look at each week because there's just not enough room on this calendar. I thought that would be very overwhelming. So I've got that information in a different place, but this is just due dates. So when is this stuff due? I really encourage you to print out the calendar. Have it with you, or if you don't want to print it and maybe you're like me and you love planners, you can have your own calendar and write the due dates down on your planner. Or if you're like me and you really love office things, you'll print it out, you'll put it on your wall calendar, you'll put it on your planner, you'll draw stars around it and buy cute little stickers for it. I don't know. That's what I do. As you'll see, there's like nothing due in the middle of the week. If you took this class with me last semester, I had quizzes due every single week. I've scrapped those. I don't think that they were as effective as I wished that they were. So we don't have quizzes anymore. That's just one less activity for you guys to do, and I hope you'll appreciate that. What that does mean is that I'm not monitoring whether or not you're actually looking at the lessons. The quizzes forced you to look at the lessons because the quizzes were about the lessons, but I don't think that's what I'm about. I don't think I want to force you to do anything. I just want you to be independent and do it yourself. So look at the lessons, do your assignments, but there's no quizzes that force you to do them, which means assignments are only ever due on a Sunday. The only time an assignment is not due on a Sunday is when we get into April. So if you'll notice, I'm sorry, this is so small. What am I doing? If you'll notice, the audience, purpose, and tone essay is actually due on a Monday. That's because the Sunday before the essay is due is Easter Sunday, and I know some people have like they observe Easter Sunday and they want to be with family. Y'all want to hunt for Easter eggs. I know it. You want to get your quarters. You want to get your chocolate. I get it. You want to go to church, whatever it is that you do on Easter Sunday. I didn't want you to have to stress about turning in an essay. So you can stress about it the next day on Monday. But for the most part, other than that, your essays are due on Sundays by 11:59 p.m. That's kind of an online class standard. When else to turn them in? I don't know, 5 p.m., whatever. They're due by midnight. We'll talk about the late policy in just a second. So this is the calendar. Print it out. Keep a copy of it. Notice when we've got like big breaks. Yay, spring break. And just keep an eye on the deadlines, because that is probably the one thing that can cause you to get behind is the course deadlines. So make sure you know when stuff is due. Attendance, what am I supposed to do with this? We don't have an attendance policy. You don't have to log in to Blackboard like 7 times a week and show that you've done. We don't have anything like that. There's no attendance policy. You do the work. You get the work submitted. You email me if you have questions. The only thing really that's tied to attendance is an enrollment verification assignment. That assignment is due February 12th. You have to do that assignment to stay in the class. If you don't do that assignment, I will kick you out. But that's it. That's the only thing really that's tied to attendance. So just do the work, learn the lessons, email me when you're struggling. Email me when you're not struggling. If you want to just say, hey, I liked this video. Hey, this was a cool lesson. Whatever. Send me an email. Or text me on the Remind app that I'll show you more about later. Let's move on. This video is already almost a half an hour. I'm so sorry. I'm long-winded. I'm going to keep going. The late policy is basically a points deduction policy. All assignments, like I said, are due on Sundays. Assignments that are not turned in by 11:59 p.m. on Sundays, so midnight basically, are automatically given a 24-hour extension. So you've got one extra day to turn that thing in without a penalty. That means Monday at 11:59 p.m. That's not the deadline. The deadline is Sunday, but I will give you 24 hours. Maybe something came up. I'm going to give everyone an automatic extension. After that extension period, again, one day, you get one extra day, then a 50-point assignment is going to lose 4 points, and a 100-point assignment is going to lose... 100-point assignment? I don't have any of those, so just ignore me. -4 for a 50-point assignment. That's things like the discussion boards, the responses, the progress journals, the peer reviews. And -8 for 250-point assignments. That's final papers. Those points will be taken off whether you turned your essay in 4 minutes late or 4 hours late. I do not care if you missed the deadline by 25 seconds. I know that is just really mean of me, but the cutoff has got to exist somewhere, and I have got to be consistent with every single student who comes to my class. So that is why it is the way it is. I'm not going to make exceptions for time. If you're past the deadline, you're past the deadline. I will remove points. The points are minimal. They're not going to kill your grade unless you're like 20 days late. But at that point, I think a late assignment is the least of your worries, because being 20 days late on one assignment means you're probably also going to be 20 days late on many, many other assignments. So again, like I said, just keep those deadlines in the back of your head, write them down, print them out, whatever. Some of you are going to have to get late points taken off. It's inevitable. Everybody gets late points taken off. Please don't email me and ask me to be lenient. This is my standard, and this is the standard that is going to be enacted for every single student. If you've got something going on that you know about before a deadline, please email me. If you're in the hospital and the paper's due, send me an email. That is stuff I can work with, but after the deadline has passed, there's not much that I can or am willing to do for you because, I mean, welcome to college. Can I say that? All right. The only other thing you need to know is extra credit can't be turned in late. It's extra credit. So don't turn that in late. I won't take it. Okay. Technology. This is a technology heavy class because it's online. There's going to be times where like Blackboard is down. There's going to be times where your internet fails. Literally the essay is going to be due and you're going to drop your computer into a puddle. I don't know what you're doing, taking your computer outside in your puddles, but it's going to happen. So have a plan B. Save your work. Save it on a flash drive. Save it on Google Drive. Email it to yourself every 5 minutes. I don't know. Find a way to save your work because crazy things happen, and I don't want you to be feeling like, oh my gosh, I just wrote this 8-page essay and now I can't find it. So don't let that happen to you. Always have a backup. Always have a plan B. Find somewhere to go. McDonald's, I think, still has free Wi-Fi. Panera Bread, is there one near you? They have free Wi-Fi. Cape Fear Community College has computers and free Wi-Fi. So you've got options. Please use them because I feel so bad for my students who email me telling me that like their dog ate their homework, basically. Netiquette. I don't think that we have super controversial topics in this class, but you know what? Things get crazy. And oftentimes because we're behind a screen and we are like shaded with the guise of, oh, this computer is in front of me and I'm not actually talking to my classmate face to face. Sometimes we'll say things that we would never really say in person. So just be nice to each other. We don't have to agree on everything, but we have to be nice about the fact that we disagree. Okay. Instructor response time. You guys probably really want to know about this. let me preface this paragraph with, I'll probably email you back right away because I always check my email unless I'm busy. Like I said, I just had a baby. I have a 4-month-old right now, and he takes a lot of my time. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I'll try to email you back as often and quickly as possible, but there are going to be times where I just can't. Also, I love to sleep, so if it's the middle of the night, you're going to have to wait till morning. But with that being said, I will respond to emails Monday through Thursday within 24 hours, hopefully not that long. On the weekends, it actually might take me a little bit longer, might take me until Monday to get back to you. Like I said, probably not, but you never know. So I have to put this here. I am going to use the app on my phone called Remind. Where is my phone? Okay, so sorry, I just went to go look for my phone. I have this app on my phone. I don't know if you can see this, but anyway, why did I need to look for my phone for that? Anyway, I have an app on my phone called Remind. I can contact you via text message. So it shows up as my, like, some random phone number. It's not actually my phone number, which is why I really like it, because then I don't get those weird text messages. But it's a way for me to contact you like we're text messaging. We can share videos, we can share information. You can tell me like, hey, I really don't understand something. Can you explain it to me? If you contact me using the Remind app, I'll probably respond to you within a few hours, if not immediately. With the exception of just now, I usually have my phone on me all the time. Here's something that I need to change. It talks about quiz grades again. I mentioned before I deleted all the quizzes. There are no quizzes. So let's just talk about when can you get your grades back. On small assignments like responses, peer reviews, progress journals, things like that, I'm going to try to get your grades in within just a couple of days, like usually Wednesday or Thursday the following week after a deadline. That way you've got enough time to use my comments to improve whatever your next assignment is going to be. With essays, however, it probably will take me 2 weeks. I do have 2 of these 111 sections, so I've got to prioritize grading in some way. One class, I might, like essay number 1, you might get back in 1 week because you were the first class I graded, and then the next assignment, you might be the second class I grade, so it might just take a little bit longer. But hopefully not too long. Nobody's ever reported that it took forever for them to get their grades back or anything, so I think it's a favorable timeline. If you do not see a grade and I've made a comment like, oh, everything's been graded, please check Blackboard for your work, or if you don't see a grade for your work, you're like, wow, this is an unreasonably long amount of time that she's waited, please email me. Sometimes I just didn't get your work, and that could be really, really problematic because that could mean the difference between an A and a B at the end of the semester if I end up putting a 0 in because I didn't get it. So if you're concerned, there is no harm in emailing me and saying, hey, did you get my work? I probably did, but I will happily tell you that, or no, I didn't. Please send it to me. Please, show me where you turned it in, whatever. Alrighty, we're almost finished, I promise. The course plagiarism policy is this. You will get a 0 if you plagiarize. If you plagiarize again, you will fail my class. It's as simple as that. I will give you a 0. I'm not going to give you a 50, like, good job, but you plagiarized. You're going to get a 0 if you plagiarize. Plagiarism is taking anything that is not yours and not giving credit for it. That means, like, legit, I don't give a crap plagiarism. Like, I'm just going to copy and paste this whole essay into my document and pretend that it's my work, and then I find it, and there's a 0. If you plagiarize like a paragraph in your whole essay, everything else is yours, but one paragraph is plagiarized, I'm going to give you a 0. You're not going to get like an 80 because you did most of it. You will get a 0 because there is no excuse for plagiarism. I have a 0 tolerance policy when it comes to plagiarism. If you aren't citing your sources properly, that's considered plagiarism. Now, I'm going to probably take off points in the citations column for things like unintentional plagiarism, or I'm going to say, hey, you need to fix this before I grade it. But you can, I mean, as it says here, intentional or unintentional, including self-plagiarism, which I'll get to in a second, that is not accepted. So 0 for plagiarism. Self-plagiarism is like you took this class with a different teacher and they had a similar assignment to mine, so you just used an essay that you wrote last semester and turned it in for this semester. Also unacceptable. I expect you to do the work again. I'm sorry, but you have to do it again. There's just a couple things that you're probably like, gosh, she's mean, and that might be one of them, but there's no room for plagiarism in this class. So if you have questions, if you're concerned, like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to plagiarize, please email me. I'll give you an extension if you're at that point. I don't care. Don't plagiarize. I will help you as long as you don't plagiarize. Religious observance policy. I don't really think this applies for our online class. It's basically like you have excused absences to observe your religion. We don't really have an attendance policy, but if you think this could affect you, please read the paragraph. Email me if you have questions. Don't smoke. You can smoke if you want, just not in class, but we don't have a classroom, so I don't think this applies either. Again, these are things I have to put on the syllabus. Contingency plan. This is if we were meeting face-to-face and I don't show up or something like that. If for some reason I stop communicating with you guys, like let someone know, maybe something's happened to me, but I don't think this is going to apply for us as well. Accommodation of special needs. So if there is something that you need extra, then just go to the Disability Services Coordinator. They'll give you a piece of paper. You can like fax it to me or something, take a picture, send it to me via email, and I will do whatever I need to in order to make sure that your needs are met in this class. I tried to be really conscious of the ADA requirements, so you will often in Blackboard see something that says like ADA compliancy, and then, like you can find subtitles for this video somewhere here or whatever. So if there are things that I know, like, oh, you might need some extra help. Anyone might need some extra help watching this or learning this material. I usually try to already have those up. However, please, if you have something that's really specific to yourself, let me know, send me an email, and I'll be happy to make sure that I am compliant with your needs. My CFCC, you guys know this. This is probably how you found this video. My CFCC is your portal to Cape Fear Community College. It's how you find your email. It's how you find Blackboard. It's how you find Web Advisor. It's how you find a whole lot of stuff. It's great. Like any information you need to know is here. If you're going to be hungry one day, where can you find the food at? Gosh, yummy. So use my CFCC. It's great. This is the English department plagiarism policy. I've also put it here, but mine's a little bit more specific. Okay. This is the syllabus. Do you guys have any questions? If you do, send me an email. Again, welcome to the class. My name is Miss Ausburn. I hope that we are thoroughly acquainted by the end of the semester. And now I'm going to direct you to the Blackboard video. So go ahead, check that out. It's going to show you a lot about how to find stuff in Blackboard, how to make your best use of Blackboard. All right, bye guys.